This is my teacher that is even standing for a long time. Is it not? So irrespective of the fact that, yes, probably the teacher is being paid for his work, but having to see that the student is listening and attentive is a form of encouragement. What does that mean? If I have to take up, like, sacrificially be here, I also believe that everyone should encourage me and everyone else also to be here as well. So please have this in mind the day that once enter your head and then you don't want to be in class. All right, so I'll just recap. I want someone. I saw your assignments. Goodness, I saw that about 27 people submitted. I don't know whether it's impressive or not, but I think it's a number, 27 people. And I observed that the assignment, there's one thing, I don't know whether, I think I have written a jam question. Sorry, like I like giving analogies. I have written a jam question and then I didn't vividly read the instructions. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, a call came in. So it vividly, I'll just wrap up with this and I'll ask my question. It reminded me of, in terms of instruction, because I noticed some of you just gave me one example and I said at least 3 examples for each of the categories of UI UX, good or bad. And I saw people just giving me one. I don't know why that is, or maybe you just want to, you don't know. I don't know. And then it reminded me of an interview that involved a design challenge. I think about last week, I was supposed to pitch the design I had to do. And I, first of all, brought out the instructions and vividly explained their instructions to them. So my point is, please read well before answering. Make sure you understand. Even in design, I happen to I went for a conference yesterday, and one of the speakers said that whenever you're asked to design, don't just jump into design. You sit down to really understand what you are required of before jumping into it. That's the essence of what we're going to talk about today, which is UX processes. So you see someone in your mind, they told you to maybe to design a delivery application, and in your mind, you're already searching for, I've made that mistake in the beginning. You're already searching for application, logistic application, and all of that, not really sitting down to really understand the model, really understand what should happen before this, really understand the flow, right? So please, let's, as designers, give ourselves to thoughtful thinking. Think. That explains why I gave the name She Thinks and Design, right? Think. There's a point of design, like we talked about last week, is about design thinking and actually the visual design and more. So moving forward, I believe that you guys understand last week class, and I'm just going to forge ahead to what we have today. So for today, I'll share my screen now. Right, so if you can hear me, tell that was the seminar I went to. They say if you can hear me, type 777. Let me not say hi. If you can hear me, type 777, 7 for perfection today. Okay, 111, Sunday, first day of the week, whatever. Just type something. So UX. Let me see the one you guys finally typed. It's fine. Chat. Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay. So UX, user experience design. This is one very interesting topic. I'll try not to talk so much. But one beautiful thing about design is that design has to do with storytelling. Same with branding, has to do with storytelling. You are telling a story. That's why you observe most of these UX processes have to do with story. One of the things, there is a job description called UX writer, right? So if you belong to the group of people that love writing, you are also in the right place. You are of an advantage of not just being a product designer, but also a UX writer. So design, UX design, user experience, like I said, is user experience. What the user experience while using your application? How the user feel while using your application? The flow, the point of flow to another in an application, be it mobile app, be it web application, be it any kind of interface. So moving forward. So before I jump into UX processes or user experience, I want us to have a deep understanding of what design thinking is. Design thinking. So design thinking has to do with all of the processes, the step-by-step approach you take to solve a problem. All of the processes, whether it has to do with obviously your thought pattern. I'm going to explain most of those processes. So design thinking doesn't just apply to UI UX. That is, doesn't just apply to UI UX design. You also need design thinking if you're in marketing. See, if you notice, as I go forward, user experience design has a relationship to do with marketing, right? Because, for example, personally, one area I'm also looking at is digital marketing, because if we say that we are concerned about the users as a user experience design, what marketing also has to do with how you want your user to see you, how you communicate a particular product to your user. So they are interrelated. That leads to what we call product design. I'm coming. What we call, so when you mix UI UX, pardon the noise, when you mix UI UX with marketing, so where you're not just concerned about the application, but concerned about how you can use the application to reach the business goal. And reaching the business goal also has to do with you being involved in marketing. I don't want to confuse you, but my point is, as a product designer, you're not just thinking about the application, but you're also thinking about the business need and how whatever you design can suit the user, and how a business owner can benefit from that application you've designed. So it's beyond just the application, but also meeting business needs, right? I believe you guys understand, but if you don't understand, you're doing question time. So design thinking, all of the things, step-by-step approach you take in solving the problem. So basically, there are 5 proven stages of design thinking, right? All of the UX processes we're going to talk about in the next slides are all hidden on each of these design thinking method, right? So first of all is a very popular stage: empathize. You define, ideate, prototype, and test. So I'm going to start with empathize. Like the name, I like breaking things down. Empathize, empathy. You want to feel the burden of somebody, right? So empathize means when you are learning about your user. This entails understanding who your user are, like who you're designing for, their problem, their challenges, their pain points. All these things I'm saying is the same thing. Problem, challenges, no, designers can sometimes they can make things complicated, but challenge, problem, pain point, all of them, they mean the same thing, right? But can be used in different contexts. So trying to understand their challenges, trying to understand their problem or who you are designing for. That's where you talk about empathize. Learn about your audience. Don't worry, I'm going to give examples. So for the next one is identifying the user's needs. So if you have identified maybe your target audience, right? And then probably you have an interview with them, or you have an interview, you talk, let me not say interview, you have a conversation with them. At that point, you are sure that, oh, this is the need of my audience. This is the problem they are facing. That is where we now get to define. This is when you now identify your user needs. So you are sure of, okay, this is what my user need. This is what they need. So what are your users' needs? What are their problems? What are their challenges? So at this point, you can specifically define what their challenges are. You're not just empathizing. You're not just trying to let me borrow an Igbo word, you're not just trying to sympathize with the people, but now you are sure of, okay, these are based on my sympathy with my audience, this is what their problems are, right? So the next thing now is, having identified this problem, the next thing is, how do I find out the solution? That is idea generation, coming up with ideas and solutions to solve the problem. So you can be among your teammates, it can be you and a designer. Sometimes the clients, or sometimes whoever wants to build a product, have a certain solution they have in mind. So in ideation now, so for example, I don't want to give example now, but when I'm done, I'll give example. So for example, let's just say for example now, in ideation, you are not just giving solutions, you're not just giving solutions, but you are brainstorming. Brainstorming is a big word. You are thinking on how the best possible solution to that problem, right? So probably you may give like 3 options. So in this kind of thing, maybe they want to know how you could possibly I'm using delivery company, so let me just go ahead. Maybe probably you want to be able to deliver a good to somebody. So that's the problem, right? Then you are looking out for solution to that problem. So Mr. A gives this one, Mr. B gives this one, Mr. A gives that one as a solution. Allow me to use that word. There are lots of solutions there. So it's also your duty to find out the possible the best, that's the word, the best solution to that kind of problem. But allow yourself to brainstorm, because it's in brainstorming and thinking about the best way to go about it that you eventually find out the best way, right? So enjoy the process. It's fun. It can be tiring, but it's fun. It's fun because you are at that point where you're trying to save the world, like you're trying to be Superman and Batman, and because whatever decision you make at this point is going to determine the next move in the world. Wow, this sounds like ooh. But moving forward. So the next thing is, after you maybe chosen the solutions, the next thing is prototype. So you're going to build in accordance to that solution you've decided to choose. Build in accordance to that solution. So this is when you turn your ideas into concrete examples. For example, in this case, this is where you do something like a wireframe, like a prototype, like is designing screens, but low fidelity screens. I will explain what I mean by low fidelity screen, but not complete, but an idea, right? So then after which you test, this is where you check how people react to your solution, right? So these are once you understand, and once you understand this, you are good to go. And this is one of the questions they ask during interviews. What's your design process like? Me, I've teach this thing, tire. So they had me to answer around. You get, so and again, this is what I do. I do not just teach, right? So for example, let's use okay, so I'm going to give a situation where I'm not going to give this the next slide. You guys are going to brainstorm on something. So okay, let me give this situation. So I'm a lady and I'm 25 years, example. I think I'm 25 years. I'm a lady, I'm 25 years, and well, let me use a bachelor. Yes, I'm a bachelor, I'm 25 years, and I spend most of my time in the office. I stay in the island, and you know how island can be. Aboki is not there. All these people that used to sell food don't used to be there. So island, and due to the traffic and how busy where I am is, the case study now is Lagos State. I want to I leave the house without eating. So I have a poor feeding culture, right? So this is my problem. This is me telling you my problem. Yeah, empathizing with me. Yeah, empathizing with me. My problem is that I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to cook. I don't even have time to even think about what to eat. Like, please, you guys should listen to me, right? I don't have time to cook. I wanted to give this as, okay, let's do it together. Or should I give it as an example? Let me give an example. I don't have time to cook. I don't even know what is balanced diet. What's my own? Sometimes I even maybe just branch into a restaurant and I just eat something to fill my stomach. So I don't have that time. I don't have, not like I have money. Money is there, but I don't have time. I don't have time to even think about the kind of things I eat if I finally eat. And sometimes as a result of that, I could starve myself in the office till like 4 o'clock or end up eating junks, right? So that's my problem, right? And it's not good for my health because along as I get old, it may start showing in my body. And most times when I travel home to see my parents stay in Lagos too. This is the example. They complain of how unhealthy I'm looking like. So this is the problem of your audience. So because of in this case now, I'm the audience and I'm the person asking. Let me know the chats that are coming. So every dog can distract myself by myself. So in this case, I have defined my problem to you. I've defined my problem to you. This one, I'm not just empathizing. Yeah, I've gone to the far. I'm assuming that a designer came to me. A designer came to me, and then I'm telling the designer the problem. So I've defined it to the designer that okay, that I want to be able to be able to get food at my office, get it on time. I don't want to even think about lunch. I don't think about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I just want something that will, well, some people will say that marry wife. I don't understand. If your wife, if your wife is as busy as you, uncle, so that so before people, their wife will become application. You can view the application series, baby. That's the lighter mode. So that's the issue. So the next thing start thinking about as a designer or in your team is how do we make it possible? So things like okay, so why don't we some people are like, why don't we come up with a mobile app that can make him choose a list of choice? Another person will be like, no, that guy, leave that guy. So there may be option of because maybe you have your audience, you've interviewed your audience and you found out that like there are different category of people. There are some people that like making their choice of food by themselves. There are some people that they don't have problem. Just give me food and it's sweet. Do you understand? So there may be options like someone will be like, okay, let's build an application where and there's an option for list of food, but if you want to automatically suggest food, or maybe why onboarding? As these are like ideation. Why onboarding? You'll be like, you tell them to select what are the possible food that you love. So in the morning, someone maybe you maybe want to put ARO or artificial intelligence to be like, hello, Mr. Emeka. Would you like rice? Would you like spaghetti? Would you like whatever? And then the application yourself will even be say where you just talk what you want. There was someone that told me that I just wish that there's an application that converts food in your phone to physical. Because I was telling him I wish upon all the science and technology you have in this world, I cannot just appear from Enugu to Lagos. Like, is there not something that can without witchcraft? Let me not divert. That's by the way. So someone may suggest that, okay, let's have like a voice that can detect, or some people, if science has gotten to the point of where if you hold your phone, they will check the vibration of, if you hold your phone, the phone will feel your impulse and they will determine the kind of food you need. So these are like some of the ideations. So the truth is there is something that one of like a colleague, someone that taught us, said that no design is stupid, just the right time. That's the same way that nobody believed that there will be any object that will ever fly on the earth until now that we have aeroplanes. So just allow it. Things are changing. There is metaverse where you can travel in the metaverse. You have houses in the who would have imagined that? Okay, if I don't divert. So these are the possible ideation. So maybe after everything, we reach to a conclusion that, okay, since we are in this generation, wait, let us build an MVP. Let's leave this whole VR thing, artificial intelligence, and let's leave it. Let's suggest food for a maker, and then schedule a time. A maker will be like, okay, there'll be a kind of set. I'm usually in the office by 9 a.m. So I'm thinking that around 9 a.m., maybe breakfast should be served to me, lunch, this thing. So this is you finding out. So it may, for example, coming to branding now, try to understand your audience. That's the place of UX process. We're going to move forward. You understand? Try to understand your audience. So there's some application, I believe, that is focused on maybe just the rich people. It does. Or focus, for example, Sketch. Sketch is just for Mac users. They don't want to come and enter Windows. Mac users. And obviously, anybody that is using Mac is supposed to be earning more than up to like maybe 500K, 300K. You get? That's why some of these young people want to own iPhone so that to look as if they blow. But let us leave that on my side. So that's basically, so what I'm saying, for example, if you notice, this is one importance of understanding your audience. Let's go to branding. Indomie have different category of people that they are targeting. They have the small children, which is the children, not small children are small. So children, which are, that's why they have these Indomie tables. I'm giving all these examples so you really understand where I'm coming from. Now, for the normal youth, we have Super Pack, and then we have Hungry Man, we have Family Size. So all of these things we are done because of, initially people used to think that Indomie is for children. So they now had to go through all of those things to tell people that, oh no, families can eat Indomie. Yeah, Indomie, and all of that. Delicious, whatever. So please, my point is try to understand your audience. Moving forward, I have a tax. Goodness, I think you may want to, Ebuka, I can, should I take any question now? What's the time? Goodness, please, Ebuka, just hold your question, yes, so that I don't end up like answering it and over talking, and that affects our time. So goodness, I think you have to unmute because I have a task for everybody right now to show that all the things that I have been saying is not babadash. Okay, just hold your question. I don't have question for me. Allow. All right, but it's cool. It shows me that you guys are listening. Okay. I don't know who is mute because I can hear myself. My problem. Is it my problem? Okay. Can you guys see my screen? So I think goodness, you may have to control who wants to talk, right? So look at my screen. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. It's the fourth wave. I had this presentation one certain time. So it is the, how many wave of COVID-19 are we now? It's not the fifth wave. It's the second wave of COVID-19. And the government has placed a no movement policy. Everyone should sit at home. Everyone should stay at home. So this is my audience, one of my audience. So Priska is in deep need of a cardigan and some home clothes. She really needs these clothes, but worried because she can't go out to get one. She wants her exact size, being fat in size, and she can't get a tailor too. This lady has plenty problem. So using the different design thinking method, we're going to start from empathizing and defining. So this stuff has already told us more about Priska. We're not assuming again. This is who Priska is. So from here, we know we again. Don't worry, more things than COVID-19 we wait. It's not cause. Amen. COVID-19 will not wave again. Amen. In Jesus' name. This is Sunday. This is prophecy. Let's move. Then the next thing is, I want like 1, 2, 3. I want 5 people to give me, identify some of the, please have your pen and paper. Have your pen and paper. So what are the possible problems that Priska has? So if you want to answer, you raise your hand. Okay. Goodness, someone. People are raising their hands. Maybe you can just give them access. 4 persons.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, they can
I
unmute.
want to hear your voice. Those that have raised their hand, please just unmute them and let them talk, please.
Okay, Emmanuel, you can unmute.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so one of the major problems Priska has is she needs a cardigan and some home clothes. Let me just mention one so that others can mention the rest.
She needs a cardigan and some home clothes. So what do you classify it as?
Sorry?
What do you
Classification in what
classify?
sense?
Like, this thing reminds me of when I was in school, and they asked, sorry, I have to give this example. They asked my English teacher asked us, why can't because the person was taking his bath, why can't he see? In the literature, they say that he has foam all over his face. That was all we are answering. She said, must you answer it in total? Must you like give that exactly? Then she now, you guys will just say that because he's taking his bath. So my point is, he needs a cardigan and some home clothes. What he means is that he needs clothes. He needs wares, right? That's what
Yeah.
I mean by, yeah. He needs,
Okay.
let me use PJ. In they find clothes, he's looking for clothes. Well, but there are times where you need specificity. Don't mind me. So yes, thank you so much. So who else? She needs clothes. Someone say, can we type it?
You can unmute.
Okay. And she has a problem. Sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So she has a problem with getting her specific size. She
Okay,
doesn't want to
getting
have
her
to, like,
size. I
yeah,
wish
she
someone
doesn't
can be
have to, like,
writing this thing. Okay,
she
first
doesn't
of all,
want to have
needs
to, like,
clothes.
struggle with
Needs,
getting it and
needs.
returning it and stuff like that.
Okay, she needs clothes. She needs her specific size. Okay. Next, someone else. Thank you so much.
Okay. Shinaya Blessing, you can unmute.
Okay, thank you. Okay, she also can't go out.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice. All of you are doing well. She cannot go out because of the policy. So it's not even. Okay, who else? Someone else.
Okay, you can unmute.
She doesn't, good afternoon. She can't get a tailor to get the clothes for her. So she also has a problem of getting a tailor.
Okay. Problem, opposite of problem are needs. So you can choose to know how to write it. So for me, I'm writing needs a tailor. You can, if you're writing it as a problem, you write it as she cannot have access to tailors. So like she needs clothes. She doesn't know how to, like, just for the right English. Opposite of what she needs is her problem. So any other one? Any other one?
Okay,
Then
Maya, you can unmute. Mia. Abi me. Okay, Oinye, you can unmute, please.
Nobody can deliver the clothes to her.
Beautiful. She needs the clothes in her house. She needs it to be delivered in her house. Needs it delivered. It has a correlation with the fact that she cannot go out. She needs it delivered to her. It's together with needs cannot go out, delivered to her. But let's not use the word deliver. She needs it. Needs to get it to her. Needs to deliver it to her.
Okay, please, if you've answered, can you bring down your hand so that I'll know who to call?
I think that's
Mia.
all. Any other one?
Okay, that's all.
Okay, so these are we have identified her problem. So when you identify problem, she needs she doesn't have enough. So I'm identifying it as problem. She doesn't have enough clothing, house clothing, and cardigan. She doesn't have a cardigan, or she doesn't have enough cardigan and house clothing. She really needs. The next one is she, yeah. She needs her exact size. Okay, I think we'll have to identify it as needs. The next one is needs a tailor, don't have access to tailors. So probably maybe something happened to her phone or something, needs it delivered to her, can't go out and need to get this thing. So these are like her problem. So we have defined her problem. So voila, Superman and Superwomen, how can we help her? If you know, you can give up all of your ideas. Please, I want everyone to participate. Everyone. How can we help her? Those that are raising up their hand can talk.
Okay, so based on my own understanding, I think the first thing it's probably having an application which you can use from her house, and which she can select her size, the type, the color, and the type of cardigan or the type of clothes that she wants. So like that's first addressing the problem of her size, and then
Can you repeat?
for
Say it again.
sorry, can you hear me?
Say it again. Say it again. You think, first of all, you think she needs an application? Is that what you said?
Yes. Okay. If I should go deeper, probably if I want to start from the ideation part, then probably I have to consider if she's tech savvy or she can use her phone or something. But I'm just on a general sense, I'm thinking, okay, she's tech savvy for this particular task. I don't know if it's okay.
Just go ahead.
Okay, so I think yes, she needs an application where she can select her size, the color, whatever type of dress that she needs. Then addressing the second problem, since there's COVID-19 restrictions, I think it's an opportunity for one of these companies to actually maybe opt in for, because when COVID-19 came, new ideas have to come out. So probably maybe drone deliveries can work in, or using robots to deliver in terms of restrictions. So I think that can address the problem. She can order from her house and then she have it delivered to her doorstep. Then she can just pick it from her doorstep and that's it.
So these things you gave now, which problem are you solving?
As both the delivery, since she can't go out, it gets it delivered to her doorstep. And since she's scared about her size, she can actually use the app to notify the company about her size or the type of cardigan or the type of dress she wants.
Okay, you are speaking generally. That's wonderful. Because of you giving this thing, that's wonderful. So the next question, how is her, first of all, who is even identifying her size? One, and then how will her size be identified? Any other person can answer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The person that answered first. True, very true. So how can she know? In the tell us, I feel like I saw something like something plug. I don't know, but I feel like there are tellers here.
Lovette plug.
Lovette plug. How this plug? And obviously, there is a place.
Can I talk?
Okay, who's talking? Okay, Lovette plug. What?
Yes,
what
I'm
do
not
you
a
do?
tailor, please. I'm a graphic designer. Okay.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yes. So I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe develop an app that determines someone's size or something. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the problem of developers. They should just develop app like that. Somebody
It's possible now.
Okay, it's like
Flow now.
Okay.
Something like flow that means your period. There can be something like that. I don't know.
That we're gonna do mathematics in the back end. I hear all of
Can
you.
I include something?
Okay, fine.
Okay, so we've been talking about developing apps. I think the first step after defining her problems should be carrying out a survey, of all the possible needs that I'm assuming the lady who is stranded in the house is an example of every person who could not come out to get what they want. So carry out the possible needs of each of these persons. We're carrying out a survey, so it's going to be a particular demography, our target audience, whether an age range, probably 18 to 30 or 35. Then know the possible needs that they have, classify these needs, and then build a product in terms of an app that would, where you can actually put out a list of things you need week in, week out, and work to build this product in line with a delivery service. Because I can remember in 2020 when we had the lockdown, delivery logistics services were still active. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think in go here they were actually still active. So working such that, okay, this person goes on the app or on the web page where whatever product is existent, put their requirements, what they require. It should not just, I'm assuming it's not just clothes, probably food stuff too. And
Okay,
then,
so I have an example already. So let's not deviate. Priska is the case study.
okay,
So
okay,
you may want to Priska is the case study, and then that's why I said she needs clothes. So we're assuming that there are group of people, like the target audience, or rather who we are building for are for people that need clothes, right? That's why we're like, she needs a tailor. Wait. I think that's a glow line. I think that's a glow line.
Sorry, can I say something?
Wait, please, we're talking. When we're done. I think your network. Wait, yeah.
okay,
You're going to, so that's the case study. Clothes,
okay.
Clothes. Yes. So maybe you may want to start asking me further question like how old is she or something.
Okay,
but age? This is clothes generally.
Yeah.
You get.
So to get
it's
her
not
particular size, to get her.
Yes. So it's not like, yeah. So yeah, deducing. So we're not assuming. Do you think it's a mobile app she needs or a web application she needs? So this is ideation period. What do you think? If you want more information, you may have to like you said, talked about survey.
Yeah. Right.
Talk about survey to know more information on that class of. But in this case study, we've done the survey, and this is the defined. That's why I said it's as though this is where I've met everybody, and then this is principal we're using as a case study that covers everything. Okay, we're still going to talk about UX processes, right? Okay. Survey and the rest of them, how to get to that point, right? But at this point, this is our case study. Do you get?
Yeah.
Yes. So having known that, what possible solutions will you give?
Okay, like I said, get her. We already know her age. She's 25. I think it's also in the.
Oh, okay.
I think you mentioned it, right?
No, it was for the other case study I mentioned.
Okay. She's 25. Yeah, but that doesn't really have anything to do with her size. So what I will do is, okay.
I think I'll share my screen again. She's fat. That's why she wants to look for. She's horrible keyboard. So she needs, fat people always have this issue of, I hope I'll get my size.
Getting their actual size, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the, let me share my screen and show you that stuff again. So we'll read again.
Can I talk?
Okay.
Can I talk?
Okay.
Can I talk?
Wow. Goodness. Control who talks. Yeah. Thank you.
She wants her exact size, being fat in size, and she can't get a tailor nearby. So I think the major thing that the app would have is identifying. It's going to be such that they make you know that you can register on them with your whatever you do. If you're a tailor, if you are a as in home cleaner, whatever it is you do. So the app would have location. I don't know the word English to use, but connect tailors in the area, in her area there, in her neighborhood there with her, such that they don't need to come to her house, but they would help her design whichever size she wants. and then working with the logistics service, deliver it to our house.
So from what I've said, the solution you're giving now is that the application will show her list of her tailors around her. Bah?
Yes, list of tailors around her. Yes.
That solved the problem of getting tailors, I'm guessing.
And also getting her size, because it's going to be difficult to get if she tries to buy a cardigan.
Okay.
So they will so that will be her perfect size.
So that's the question. I think you're going to stop here. Let this person that's saying she wants to talk. How will you know her size?
Can I?
Who was the person I was saying can I talk to before, like she just talk? I don't know who that person is.
It was me. It was Jethro.
It was a female voice.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So after Jethro, there's one other person. Goodness, are you here? Just come. I can't see their screen, so I don't even know.
Yeah, Paul, can you please unmute?
Okay, can I say something?
Go ahead.
All right. For for size, I'm thinking there should be a feature that allows us like pick. There'll be a drop down of every sizes, like maybe large, medium, and small, and also a picture demonstrating people that actually putting on that size. Maybe like extra large. There'll be a picture of someone putting it on, so she will know, okay, this extra large is not too extra for her or too small for her. So drop down of sizes and also people wearing it to display how it's going to look.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do we have a tailor in this place? Do we have a fashion designer in this place? So this is where you start thinking about, this is where the point of research and everything. It's supposed to even come before ideation, where you have to point out research. This research determine the ideation. But is there a tailor here? Do we have a fashion designer here? There's nobody like that. Is someone raising up their hand?
Yeah, Rita, you can talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Are you a fashion designer?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay, you want to suggest something? So there's no fashion designer. Okay, no while. I wanted to ask, or someone that is picture and extra large, is it okay to know the size of somebody?
It can help, but we are looking at an exact size here, so it probably won't work.
It won't entirely work. It can help. Okay.
So I want to address the problem of the measurement. If the person has someone around that can measure her, then in the app we are building, we should specify or give a direction or instruction on how to take the measurement, because I think the specificity of measuring someone, it's something a tailor knows. So you write down everything the person needs to measure, and whoever that's measuring her will take notes. But in a situation whereby it's just her, then there is also an instruction in that app on how she can self-measure herself. Then if it's a situation whereby our user can't, it's a problem of disability, then I think our app should, since there is an app that can take your face, right? And you can pass because of your face. I think we should also create.
Priska is not disabled. Let's not go far. She's not disabled.
No, I'm just saying.
I know, I'm just saying.
The app will be accessible to
you know, you can build application and then I know accessibility. You can just I don't think that I know the place of accessibility you get, right? Yeah, but just go ahead. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
The app can the way you do with your fingerprint or with your face print, I think if we are mad enough, we can get something like that would screen your whole body and predict, give something nearest to the exact, because I don't know if it can get the exact, but something close to it.
Okay. So your suggestion is there should be an instructional, maybe a video or a direction, because I know that there's this thing that fashion designers, if you want to learn how to, if you go online and like say how to measure, you see there'll be this drawing of somebody from here to here is your son. So that should be like an instructional manual to show how to measure. Okay. So we have like three options. We have either picture, we have the whole extra large and everything. We have the measurements, instructional measure, maybe a video or like a note on how to measure. We also have the whole VR, maybe like an artificial intelligence, something that can help to do the whole size of it that somebody said developers will do. So that's so well, I'm just trying to make us understand how this Chineye Blessing, are you raising up your hand?
Yes, ma.
Okay.
Okay, I was also thinking that we can make an app that can actually has a camera to really scan the size of the lady and then give us the exact body.
We have magicians here.
No, like it's possible if your feet, there are things that can really scan your face and then tell you who you are. So there's supposed to be something like that. You can create it.
I know, yeah. So that's the place of AR and then VR. Okay. I think. Thank you. You guys have answered beautifully and wonderful. I don't know who answered. I didn't get your names, but all of you have answered beautifully. So so that's the place of ideation. Moving forward, we just have 1 hour. I thought this class was going to be short. I didn't know it was going to be this long, but it's quite interesting. I hope you guys are having fun, right? Okay, moving forward, this is the ideation stage, and someone was answering if someone, so in this case now, look at COVID-19. COVID-19 say we should not touch anybody, we should not hug anybody, nothing. If it's possible for us not to use the same cup, don't use it. So that means that should also eliminate the fact that somebody should measure the person. The person should go and measure himself by himself. And obviously, the teller will be in his or her own house. Anyway, I just wanted to point that. So moving forward to ideation, you bring out after all these ideations, people are giving mad ideas. The next thing now is after you've chosen the one you want to work along with as a result of looking at the availability of resources. So where maybe we've not gotten to the point of VRO, ARO, and all of that, you may want to stick with the regular stuffs to make it, maybe as time goes, there will be more additional features, right? Moving forward, the next thing is prototype. So this is where you do like a design using maybe Figma. So since we say it's application we're going with, I was thinking people will be like, maybe it still has to do with application. Maybe a website where everybody will have the numbers of all tellers will be there. So if you want to just pick their number while we're building application, this life is not hard. Maybe someone will just say, just list the list of teller. You pick one person's number and then you call the person and say, hey, Oga, my baby, I want so close to see my size. Everything will happen in phone. Chicken, I'll be moved. Anyway, but I think because of us solving a lot of problems, we actually made an application. So I believe you are right. Moving forward, UX, I don't know when I get to this UX design process, it used to sweet me. Why? Because I think I have built applications without UX design process, and I know how painful it is. Until in my search, I discovered UX processes, and my life has never remained the same. Hallelujah. So these are the deliverables expected of a UX designer. So basically, how do I start this now? I'm going to give you like a number of UX processes. So this is just like this is an introduction. I've not dived into UX processes. I'm just going to list out and the possible thing that happens, right? That's what's going to happen here. We're still understanding UI and UX. We're still understanding UI and UX. So the deliverables of UX processes is dependent on the kind of project, right? So there are different goals of projects. For example, the common one, maybe you want to build a project from scratch. That's also where you want to redesign a project. There is a place of where you want to refurbish a particular feature. All these things are different design goals. That determines the kind of design process that will happen. Give me 1 minute. So starting from user research, I'll just explain. User research has to be, okay, I don't want to go deep into this. When we go into, so user research has to do the possibly research you have to do. So there are basically three. So I'm saying three because I'll just name them and I'm saying three. First of all, is where you get to understand. Maybe someone wants to build a medical application where you should be able to book appointments with doctors, right? So the next thing, maybe you're just an architect or you didn't study medicine, you have to try to understand the medical field. You may have to browse stuff like that. That's like general research, right? So we have the qualitative research is where you have to do an interview. You bring out possible questions to ask regarding to your project, right? Then quantitative research has to do with where you have to bring out a survey of possible questions so you can measure the analytics of the responses of your users. The next one is user persona. So having done your qualitative analysis, that means your interviews and your quantitative analysis and your quantitative research or analysis, whatever, quantitative research, there are possible people that you've met. So from those group of people you've interviewed, you bring out characters. We bring out like 3 characters that represent 3 categories of people. Maybe the first category, maybe like now the food application wanted to build. First category may be the lazy students, the rich lazy students that have money and cannot cook. Another category of person may be the working class, right? Another category of person may be the people that just want to eat, right? So as a result of this research, you come up with like 3 fictional characters. So if you look at, like I said, I'm not going to go deep. So you try to understand, this is an example of a user persona. So we have the age, the work, the family, the bio, the personality, the goals you want to achieve, as in the goals of the application. Then the frustration of the person. Sorry, I don't want to die. I don't want to go deep into this so that we don't spend extra time. That's why I'm trying to hold myself so that it doesn't flow just like that. So brainstorming. So these are where you generate ideas. So this is just showing the list of ideas so if you are doing a physical meeting, you can use sticky notes. If you are doing spiritual meeting, if you are doing a virtual meeting, there is this application called Miro, Miro, right? So there's something called customer journey map. This shows the step-by-step taken by a user to meet a specific goals. Then user flow shows the features of chosen for the application, like the flow for it. Then I don't know if for this, I may just touch it. If for this upskill, whether we're going to dive into UX processes because it's a whole lot, but I'm going to see what we can do. So it also determines our responses. If the response is low, right? If the response is low and the energy is low, we'll just stop where we want to stop. Let me tell you the truth. So sitemap is like an organogram that shows how the application will be. So you have like something like this homepage. Under the homepage, you have contact us, you have about us, blah, blah, blah. Under it, you have another one. Under it, you have another one. So low fidelity is like a wireframe sketch of how the application will look like. High fidelity is like how the actual application will look like. Then I think that's all. When you come up with a prototype, then you test. In testing, there are different kinds of testing. There is A/B testing, there is heuristic testing. So where the simple kind of testing is where maybe you call a friend to come and test your product, come and use the application, maybe to know the flow and how the friend feels like while using the application, the reaction, whether the person got confused at a particular point in time. So that's basically it. So I'm going to just show, before I take question, we've done this, before I take question, oh wow. Before I take question, I'm going to just, someone was asking me, how do we get like the Figma application? I don't have, go to figma.com, for those that don't know. Figma application. I hope I still remember my part. Okay, I signed up. Config 2022 is going global. Join us for 24-hour annual user conference. So Figma has actually have an like a desktop application. So I think I have a desktop application where you just download like the desktop application. It's not like Photoshop where you have to, whatever you're doing on Figma is online, right? I know that they used to have, but I don't know what the recent thing is now. But I know they used to have this where you can work offline or something, but I don't know about that. I may have to research and check that one again. But the proper thing is you have to be connected to the internet. So that this thing I used to do before, but I think Figma, while I started, so I can work offline on Figma, like my data is not on. I do everything. Then when I'm not on my data, it loads and bring everything online, right? But I observed that once you are offline, there's some certain feature that Figma may not allow you to load because of your offline. So I noticed that as they were progressing, and then I just had to just start doing everything online, right? So when you want to sign up to Figma, you log in. You can log in with Google. You can do name and password and all of that. So I'm going to be using my whatever that. If you've not signed up before, they may ask you some certain questions which you will answer. So that's basically that. Then if you want to create a new, I've not gotten to Figma introduction. If you want to create a new file, you go create a new file. You can start playing around with something. For those that may not have touched Figma, play around. So I think at this point, I'll just stop sharing and take your question. Thank you. If you have question, can you raise your hands up? If you have question, you can ask. Like, see question everywhere.
Okay, sorry, can I?
Okay, fine, Ebuka, you can ask.
All right, sorry, I'm sorry. It's just, I wanted to just take you back to the time when you mentioned Sketch.
Okay, yeah. Fine.
And you said it was majorly for MacBook.
Yeah, Sketch. As in Sketch is an application, it's a prototyping design tool.
So for MacBook users now,
Yes.
or Apple users, right?
Yes.
So I want to ask, I think you made a reference to it when you were talking about understanding the user's pain points. I don't know if I'm mistaken.
Yes, when probably you want to build an application for a particular kind of people, you have your reasons. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying the reason why Mark created those is for. Are you sure? Are you sure it's because they believe this was just for people who are high-end earners?
So I don't know why Sketch cannot be used on Windows, right? So I don't know why. So I don't know why
What I just want to say, it's something funny, but don't you think it's probably a fault from their end that they didn't do proper user research?
So I think I have to go and research, but I don't know what relationship Sketch has to do with Mac. So because I want to point it from the point of view of there are some applications that works in Mac that don't work in Windows. So I sometimes as a result of maybe I really don't know why. I'm trying to think. I really don't know why some application that's for example.
I feel like sometimes we help them answer these questions and then we kind of overlook the fact that this might actually be a problem.
Oh, it may. Just I think is another thing is I think is the whole competition thing too. So Windows want to stay in Windows. For example, you know Figma and XD?
Yeah.
I think it's the whole like if it's something that has to do with where some application work on. Okay, let's look at. I want to approach this in different categories. For example, I'm building an application, something like Clubhouse now that is just on iPhone.
Okay.
For that purpose, I don't know why. I think it's more of a choice. They may have a reason why they just want iPhone users, or maybe resources. I don't know why they just tipped it to just iPhone people. I don't know. Do you get? So I think that one is a fault of the fault of Clubhouse. Do you get? But in the sense of where there are some, when I mean application, for example, that's something that work in Windows that you cannot find them in MacBook, maybe because they didn't design it for Mac.
Sure.
Right. So I think that's the point, is a matter of choice. So coming back to XD and Figma, you know, XD used to be like Oga, used to be like, I want to say like Tinubu, used to be like Tinubu, whatever. Used to be like Oga, right? Before Figma came and like, there's even this application I saw. I don't know the names. Uni, I think if I search Uni something, is a new prototyping tool like that. I saw it in one YouTube advert.
Actual. Actual.
It's not actual.
AXURE.
No, it's not it. Maybe that one too is new. Oh, really? That's one I saw. I had to like move it. They want to do like Figma. They even had templates. You don't have to start from like real fine template. So till now, you can't export an XD file to a Figma. They don't want to collaborate. They don't want to collaborate. Like for example, sketch file now. I think you can import a sketch file, or there's a way of converting, but XD and Figma, they're like cat and they don't want to do anything together. They're competitors. So some certain external factors can actually determine some certain things, right? That's all I can say regarding that.
Okay. So in the area of ideation and ideation process for solving a user's problem, I think this whole area of the reason why you build Sketch, I think it should be something about marketing rather than I don't know, it should be in the area of marketing. It's probably a luxury good, right?
Okay, you're thinking that they just want it to be
because if you start to look at it from the area of I think it was because of it was an area of marketing, so if it's exclusive to a particular set of
group
users,
of people. Okay.
yeah, the sales will increase. Because if you talk about it from the area of UX, it's confusing. It's kind of, I don't know.
So UX also has to do with you on. There's no. That's why if you are listening to me, I have to combine the aspect of UX and marketing. So if the business goal is for a certain group of people, then I have to build application for that certain group of people. So don't try to separate UX and marketing or UX. Yeah, they have a way of intertwining because all are targeted to business goal. So like you said, most likely they want to build the application for certain target, but I don't know, I don't see how it makes sense. Is it that there are certain group of people that design?
Exactly. So
everybody's supposed, do you get?
It's supposed to be accessible but to anybody.
Yes, but I don't, yeah. So like I said, I think it has to do with that whole, there's no excuse you want to give them.
Right,
because I wanted to say, like, for example, Slack, there is Slack for Mac, there's Slack for Windows, there's Figma for Mac, why can't we have Sketch for Mac, Sketch for Windows? Maybe we'll go and research on why that may be, because I know people must have asked such kind of question. Maybe it may be a calling that you're called into. Maybe come on. I don't know why we don't need them again. Thank you. Unless there's I've not used Sketch before. Yeah.
Because there are other options too now.
Yeah, there are other options. You should come on. Even Figma, they're really doing, like, Figma just came. I think Figma really worked on their marketing and UX processes. They got to the point of understanding what their users will need. That's why they are providing everything.
Also how accessible they are too.
Yes, and the community.
Resources are everywhere online.
Yeah, their community, like, they build a very strong community where people can contribute on the resources, and they created a very wonderful system. So that's where marketing comes into on the product. So, any other question? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Can I talk?
Should I ask?
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to talk about your user persona, like your target market. So I want to ask you now, how do you get your own, like, how do you get your user persona? How do you do it online, or you interact with them physically?
How do I tend to interact with my target audience? Is that your question?
Yes, that's the question.
So you can do it physically and virtually. So sometimes I advise physically. So for example, if your target, unless you can't be able to assess your target audience, maybe your target audience is in American, if you want to just do survey, but for effectiveness, because I was working with some of my mentees and they're like, that they are busy, you cannot go to people and be asking them to see you because they're not giving you money now. That's why I don't want to go there. I had to, like, enforce on the need to go and ask them. Go and ask. These people are nearby. Because they're supposed to be like, I don't want to talk about the application they're building. So these are people they can access. So it is more effective. It is more effective if you can meet these people physically. That's if you can find them. Qualitative research, as interviews, you must not interview like 10 people, can be 5 people, right? It's in qualitative that you may want to try to see, make sure that maybe 100 people or 50 people fill your survey. Just 1, 2, 3. It's very, very effective. So, and even we've not gotten to that point, but even qualitative analysis doesn't just involve you having conversation. They also involve you observing them. So, for example, you go to a tailor shop. I'm using tailor because that's one of the research I have made. go to it. You want to build an application for tellers, right? For people to find tellers and for tellers to find customers as well. It even gets to the point of you going to a teller shop and just sitting down, be moping, see how customer come, see how what they say, what happens first. Do they look at the catalog? Okay, they choose, like, observe, because sometimes these people you interview, they don't have the answers to your questions. Sometimes they just answer. Sometimes they know what they are saying. So that's why it's very, very important to physically so you can do both physically, virtual. In case where you cannot access your people, you can do virtual, maybe doctors, then whatever. So, but it's more effective when you do physically. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Clinton.
I have a question.
Is it Clinton?
Yes.
Okay.
So please, why do I need a low fidelity prototype as a UI designer?
So wireframe generally helps in structuring. So it's not best to just jump into the actual design, right? So a low fidelity profile may not necessarily. So I'm going to approach it in two perspectives. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me see if I can share one of the latest, whatever. So I'm coming. So personally, let me answer your question. Wireframe generally helps for structuring, helps you to know how to structure your design. So you may say, okay, dashboard. Oh my God. Let me open something. You may say, for example, I personally, I use paper first. So it gives me a structure of, okay, this card should be up here, followed by this one down here. It just helps for better structuring for wireframe. That is one. So that is, for example, me, I prefer to rather use, I'm not supposed to ignore this. I prefer to use, since this is on record, I prefer to use a paper and pen, yeah, exactly, to do that. Another thing that the other type where you have to go to Figma and do like a mini, I do that very when I'm building websites. So because of, I don't start thinking about how which picture will come before this one. So I just do like a Lorem Ipsum, do the header, hero, cards, maybe card at the left-hand side, right up at the right-hand side, right up at the left-hand side. It just helps me to structure it. And especially when you're interfacing with clients, sometimes you don't just jump into the actual design. You need your client to agree to, okay, this is how I want it to be done. You're trying to show your client that, okay, this one will be here, this one will be here. So it's before you have to do the actual design, so that to avoid your client saying, I thought we agreed that this should be right and this should be left. This one should be. So it helps for structuring and help for proper communication among the client and the designer. That's why you need a. So there are times you don't have to, well, it is proper to follow the process. Like I said, I use Sketch. It helps me a lot. My design lead, even down to doing a flyer, will say draw a sketch. So he's a fan of, you have to sketch it, because sketching, that time you're supposed to waste trying to figure it out. You've already figured it out already on paper, right? And then you're just doing directly. That does not mean that you cannot make some adjustments. It doesn't mean that your wireframe must be exactly, or your design must be exactly how your wireframe looks like. You get, but it helps for proper structuring and avoiding back and forth communication and the rest of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Love it. Are you asking? Is it only Love it that asked the question, or is this a formal one? This class has reduced. Everybody have gone. Okay, I'm trying to think. As you guys are still asking me questions, let me think of the assignment I'm going to give you guys. No question. All right, so we come to the end of this class. I'm going to drop a scenario for us to come up using the design thinking method you've learned. Come up with this almost the same thing that you did in your assignment and the example I gave. I'm going to come up with something for you to design, to come up with possible solutions to that. Ejiofor, Ejiofor, Evangeline, you have a question? Go ahead. You have a question? Ask. Ask.
Me.
I hear you now.
I said it's not part of this. I saw something on your system. I just wanted to ask some questions.
Okay, what's the question?
About it. That's why I waited. When you click on your tab on your your Google, I saw some designs like how. Sorry, I saw Figma. Like you open some tab, like have different colors.
Oh. Okay, so what's your question?
You get now, like yellow. Huh?
So what's your question? What's your question?
Like, how do you do that?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So this has nothing to do with this thing. This is just normal Chrome.
Yes, that's why I told you that I waited till the meeting ended.
Okay. So you can just select a particular whatever. You right click, add tab to group. When you add tab to group, you can create a new group, call it whatever you want. You X, then enter. So you have created it.
Okay.
So
okay.
I can put things into it. I can close it. So that's how it works.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right. Okay, Princess.
Yeah, good evening. So you said you were going to go further later on. So that was why I was not really asking questions, because I was having problem with the user flow diagram and the experience map, because it's as if it's, kind of relating. But when you said you go further like some other time, I was like, okay, no problem.
Okay, yeah. So you've asked your question and you answered it. Yes, we'll go further. Goodness, I think I'm done. Thank you so much. Please, Goodness, how long are we giving for those people that are not yet submitted? Goodness, is this my internet? Goodness.
Was there any assignments given?
We'll drop it in the group chat.
No, I mean the first one. Was there any first assignment, or this would be?
There was a first assignment. Go to the UI UX channel. You see it. Yes. Okay, goodness. All right, so we come to the end of this. Let me see if I can reach her. So probably hello, goodness, are you here? I think. Hello, can somebody hear me? Can somebody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, gospel. 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 Gospel.
Yeah, hi.
Goodness, I think we are done.
Okay, cool. Let me see. You're actually the host now, right?
No, goodness is the host. I'm just saying I'm done. I can leave, Sha, but she's the host in case she has something to say.
Okay. Let me reach out to her.
Okay, so I think let's try. If gospel cannot reach her, then every communication will be on Slack. Oh.
So if you can you stop the recording?
I cannot.
You're currently a host, actually. You can stop the recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So when
just
it stops, what happens? It automatically.
yeah. So just stop it and then you can end the meeting.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just yeah.
All right, you guys, see you on Slack channel. I'll see to you see your assignment before the end of today. Thank you.